All right, ladies and gentlemen, in case you missed it, Jim Cramer on Fast Money last week said there's plenty of room for a little company like EXPI, and you're going to meet the captain of this rocket ship, Dave Conord, president of EXP, on Cliff's Notes right after this. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. We're going to guarantee it today, C3, aren't we?
That's right.
Hey, Travis, good to see you, my friend. Glad you're here. Let's go ahead and bring on the man of the hour, our dear friend and leader, Dave Conord, all the way from Philadelphia. How you doing this morning, this afternoon?
Hey, guys.
No, it's afternoon. It's 2 o'clock in the East Coast, for crying out
2
loud.
o'clock. It's going fast. It's going fast. Good to see you both.
Hey, it's great to see you too. And man, we are just super stoked, Dave, to have you back on. This is sort of a checkup from the neck up since we spoke last, and you were on the show a few short months ago. But man, have a lot of things happened in the time since you were on this show last. I don't know, probably when was it back? Probably about half a year ago. Man, let's just, I don't even know where to begin. We've got so many things to talk about. I had a list here. Dave, why don't you, what do you see as, I'll let you take the lead here. What do you feel like the most significant change in our company has been since you were on, say, about 6 months ago?
Oh, man. So, obviously a lot's happened in the marketplace, right? In the industry, in our world. So much has happened in the last 6 months with COVID and how that has impacted, how we live day to day, but certainly getting into the real estate business with everybody's day to day with the buying and selling of houses, how real estate agents do business, how businesses are faring out there with people being shut in and not being able to do business as usual and not work with their clients as usual. While we are hoping and praying for this all to be over as quickly as possible and get back to, as much back to normal as we can for everybody and for health and all of those important reasons. But it really has demonstrated the power of our business model and how we were built to continue to do business, serve our agents who can continue to serve their clients. And so during this time, it has been, we have seen, we just posted our financial results for Q2, and we far exceeded all of the expectations out on the street, both Main Street and Wall Street. And we're seeing the impact in our stock prices now as we have seen it go over $42 a share just over the last couple of days. So that's been fun and amazing to see that grow like that, to see the response to what the company has done. We announced just a couple of weeks ago that we surpassed 32,000 agents. We also have, I know we'll talk a little bit about some of the new talent that we brought on board. So we brought on some phenomenal new people. We're growing internationally. We're expanding what we're doing from a marketing standpoint. So a whole lot going on, but just the results have been incredible. The profitability, posting another GAAP positive quarter as a company. So it's been a lot of fun to be a part of, and our agents are surviving and thriving. And the most fun for me is I'm friends with a ton of our agents in social media and then through our workplace that we utilize as an intranet for our system, and having the stories go through and watching everyone post about the wealth that they're building, the opportunities they're creating, how much business they're doing. I just, to be able to sit back and watch that happen and know that we get to be a part of that is the coolest thing.
Well, and I want to unpack some of this with you. I just, everything you say resonates with me, whether you're talking about, we're a very distributed model here. We have a flat leadership model. You're one of the most accessible presidents of any publicly traded company I think I've ever run into. And I mean, it's by design. I mean, you're you know the agents' names. You're close with a lot of us, and really have your ear to the tracks whenever we're needing a sounding board, and you're always there and always willing to listen, which is really important. Let's pick apart some of this maybe one at a time here. We talked about, or you mentioned some of the new key hires. Obviously, the first one that comes to mind for me in sort of chronological order is Michael Valdez, when he was hired to take over international. In the few short months that he's been here, we've already opened 5 new countries, which is just phenomenal. What's your assessment of the job that Michael's done so far?
He's been an amazing addition to the team, for sure, to the company. Speaking of social media, he posted recently, I saw something where he just said, man, I'm in love with this company. Put a big I heart EXP out there, and just said, I've been here just for a couple of months, and I feel so much part of the family, and so enthusiastic about what everyone's doing. And I think that's the cool thing about the heartbeat of the leadership team, is that we're leading from within, right? We're leading from within the pack. The agents are out there leading the way, and we see ourselves more as serving our agents and providing that the opportunity. And he's got that heartbeat. So he's been a great fit right away, but he also brings a massive amount of knowledge and experience in building brokerage internationally. I mean, he's been out there in dozens. I know he's been out there in over 100 countries, right, in building brokerages, but he's been actively part of structuring for different brands for several dozen different brokerages out there, several dozen countries, I should say, and at a very high level. And so he knows it. He's got the connections. He knows how the countries work. He understands the nuances between the different the ways that brokerage operates in different countries. He knows how to identify the right talent to help us find the right in-country leaders. And so he's jumped right into it. And in 3 months' time, we've got 5 additional countries opening with several more already slated.
Well, and he's got it dialed in, and just like you, the culture that you, as our president of this company, the culture starts at the top, right? And Michael's door is open, just like yours. His office door does not close. He's accessible. He's actually, he's been more than open, and the speed with which we were able to open these countries is just amazing. Courtney Chakran, another example of someone who you guys added to our team, is just amazing, working brand management and chief marketing officer. I did hear her say on the call today that talking about the new brand, I don't know if that's out of the box yet, but the new logo and things. Am I not supposed to say anything about that? I don't know, but anyway,
it is now.
It's not done, right? But I mean, there's a speculation there may be some changes and so forth. So, but anyway, she always emphasizes the hero brand coming first. And the hero brand is that agent's brand. So, when the DNA of this company is about putting the agents first, whether it's agent success obsessed, or as Glenn used to say, he wanted to create a value proposition that was so powerful that it would be irresponsible to hang your license anywhere else. I mean, that culture just continues, and it's so great to see. What's your assessment of the job that I feel like I'm so Dave? How is your report, Courtney, doing now? What kind of a job do you think she's done so far? I think I know what the answer is.
She gets an A+ on a report card. Another outstanding addition. I have so enjoyed getting to know Courtney. She brings a wealth of experience with her as well, and that same mindset that we're talking about. And what I love about her approach is that for a large publicly traded company, here you have your chief marketing officer, who is just highly collaborative and is working with the agents and understanding their needs and getting into meetings with the agents and talking to them and looking at the brand. So as a company, we talk about agility, being one of our core values. And, we don't ever want to do things because it's the way we've always done them. Right. And so we're always in that development mode and improving ourselves. And so the person who's in charge of our brand and how we're out there in the marketplace is going in and one of her first things to do is to come in and talk to the agents, right? The ones driving it out there in the marketplace and saying, hey, what do you think about the brand? What do you love? What do you wish was different, and that sort of thing. And so we're always looking at how do we improve. And so that's where we are right now, is looking at constantly improving, constantly driving, and listening to the agent voice, because there are professional marketers out there. They're the ones doing it every day, and our brand has to mesh with their brand to go out there and build it.
Yeah, I mean Deming, was famous for that in the car, the auto industry. It's Kaizen, right? It's continuous process improvement, and that's one thing the Japanese are really strong at, and I see it in this company. It's in our DNA, and it's exciting. I don't want to leave anybody out. I know we hired recently a global controller, because we've got, now that we're in all these other countries, we've got a really an incredible talent in that spot. Just trying to integrate. And for those of us who have gotten a little bit of international business experience, when you start adding currencies and laws and everything else together, I mean, it's you take what we have here in a level of difficulty and multiply it by about 1 million, and that's what you get when you go international. So there's a lot of moving parts, but that's what creates the opportunity. That notion that one broker can be worldwide is incredible, and which leads me to the next idea here, Dave, and that has to do with Showcase IDX, because we look at other parts of the world and the technology is just not there. You go to Mexico and other places, and they don't have really an MLS down there. You have pockets of listings of websites and things like that. And then if you consider the strategy, the brilliant strategy behind acquiring Showcase IDX, what do you tell us? What your vision, and we know Glenn's talked about it, but where do you see this catapulting us in terms of where we are in terms of visibility and credibility with some of the other giants out there like Redfin and Zillow, who have a huge website presence?
Right. So, the sleeper behind all of this is the fact that we are one national brokerage and then international brokerage, right? And that's something where no one else has the footprint that we have. They may cover those territories, but they do it by way of franchises or regional groups, and some franchise, some company owned, et cetera. No one has the footprint that we have as a single company. And so not only the reach that we have there and our ability to do things with those connections in all markets as a single entity, but there's also the data that we have access to. And so it's a massive, massive amount of data. And we can collect the data and have all of the data. The power then becomes being able to do something with it. And that's where you get something like Redfin has done an excellent job with that, right? They do an excellent job with their data. Zillow, part of the reason Zillow is the company that they are and why they're worth so much and why they've become so dominant is they have been one of the few companies to be able to aggregate data. Now, they did that through us, right? They did that through real estate agents and brokerages and collecting that data. They didn't have it necessarily themselves. And so we gave it to them and they compiled it. We have the ability as a company to do that. And so now we have a platform that can take that data and to do something with it. So now we can turn it into information for consumers, right? So now when consumers want to find information on Marketplace, all kinds of stuff, there's so much that is in there. We've heard of things like the predictive analytics and other things, all of those components being built in. So with Showcase IDX, we have an outstanding company with an incredible tool, great, brilliant minds in the tech industry around data and CRM and platforms and search. And so they're going to be able to take all of those things and build really, really great tools to combine our data with their technology and our platform. And we have the chance to compete on a national and international scale now when it comes to those tools. It's a game changer. It's a really, really big deal, and it's a whole nother component that we're able to provide for our agents and their consumers, so their clients.
No, it's. I mean, I think it's one of the best strategic plays that could possibly have occurred. Now, look, every time I talk about one great strategy, I'm going to now segue into Virbella, which Verbella's on fire. And for those of you who don't know, The way Glenn structured the company, he was very strategic. He wanted the agents to benefit as much as possible. So Virbella is actually currently part of, or let me back up. World Holdings is the stock that's trading now over. It has been over as high as I think 42.89 recently, that last day or two. But in that is the realty company and Virbella, plus our other affiliates and so forth. But let's talk for a minute about Virbella, not only locally here and how, boy, you talk about the perfect storm for that company. And now, what are I'd like to just hear your thoughts on how that's going to help us accelerate our expansion worldwide, and what kind of an unfair advantage that gives us versus the traditional brick and mortar brokerages, Dave.
Yeah, it's so smart. I mean, I always go back to it and just marvel at, Glenn's brain and putting all of this together and the path that he's gone down. And of course, he's aligned himself with some people that have continued to add value to his brainchild, if you will. It's just really, really incredible. So we've always used a platform, and I think people have often confused that by saying, oh, it's a virtual brokerage, so now I'm supposed to work virtually, and what does that mean? Agents work with their clients. It's human beings working with human beings and doing business. Smart business people leverage technology to provide a higher level of service and to work more intelligently and to get more done. But it's still, in real estate, it still comes down to the relationships and the people. But as a business platform, when you operate your business on a platform like this, it allows us to hire the best talent regardless of where they live. We don't have a headquarters located in one spot where everyone that you want to hire has to either uproot their family and move there, or you hire the talent that just lives around there, and you're restricted to people that are within a certain radius. We can hire anyone from anywhere. We can go out and seek out the best talent, get the right people in for the job. And Jason, I was talking to Jason Guessing this morning, and he was making the point of, we're in over 620 MLSs across the country. So typically, if you have a brokerage operating in every MLS, then you have to have staff people. You have a physical location, and you have to have a staff person in every location. You're paying for those people. You're paying for a location. You're paying for the bricks and mortar, the staff, and everything else. We have just around 600 staff people total running the entire company in all positions, right? Where you would just need one. That's just one person for each IDX if we were operating on a traditional platform. So
I was just going to say, if you look at the C-level, they always say that all the C-level executives can't fly on the same airplane. That's never going to happen. You guys don't live anywhere close to each other, right? You got Glenn's up outside of Bellingham. Let's see, Jeff is what? He's up in New York. You're in Philly. Courtney's in San Francisco. Who do we miss?
Yep.
I mean,
Michael Valdez is in
Michael's in New York and Miami. I mean, it's like, holy cow. We literally cover the whole country, and we can do it because of the cloud-based campus and so forth. So is it imitation is the best form of flattery, I guess. And, we're starting to see these smaller, quote unquote, cloud-based brokerages, and a lot of them are discount models and everything else. I've always said that if you look at three things, you can't have all of them. There's quality, service, and price. You typically you can only get 2 out of 3 of those, right? So,
right.
I mean, I think that we have kind of blazed a trail here. And when I say that imitation is the best part of flattery, Virbella has been in existence for a long time. In fact, a lot of people don't know that Glenn started EXP back in 2009, right? In his head in 2008, I guess. And we didn't actually, we went public in 2015, I believe it was, and then uplisted to NASDAQ. But this model, the way it is right now, has been in the works for years. This has been a dream of Glenn's for a long, long time, and it's taken this long really to perfect it, and for actually, I think, the world to catch up with Glenn. Okay, I think that's what's happened finally, is the world has caught up with Glenn, And that's really exciting to see. So tell us a little bit about, we know that you just mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show that we've exceeded 32,000 agents. Chances are we may be or may not be higher than that now, but I think we also have experienced growth. If you look at the Delta at the fastest level very recently than ever before in the history of the company. Can you tell us a little bit about how our growth is accelerating, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the growth has certainly been picking up speed. And part of that is, most companies have, in all of their locations, they have a manager or team leader or recruiter, someone who is hired corporate. He typically has corporate recruiters as well, in addition to them. And they're generating leads and they're talking to those people and trying to convince them to join, et cetera. And so they have, however many locations they have at least that many recruiters out there that are employees of the company. And we have none of those. We literally have 0 people paid by the company, no employees whose job it is to either generate leads or to go out and recruit people. And so all of our growth, here we are, the fastest growing real estate company in the industry, in a way that nobody's ever seen before, and we have no one paid to go recruit. It is all organic. It is all word of mouth through our agents. And so part of it is natural in that, as we grow and have more agents, if we're doing our job right, if we're serving our agents at a high level and they're enthusiastic about being in business with EXP, they're going to go out and talk to people, right? I mean, it's raving fans. We know that when we do that right, that they're going to tell people, and that's what we're seeing. And that's, we gauge that. I get enthusiastic about the growth, not only because of what it means, for the company and the possibilities, but it also means that we say that agents vote with their feet. And it means that we are taking care of agents and we're providing a platform that is attractive, that meets agents where they are and meets their needs. And they see it and they want to be here. And that's the most exciting thing about the growth. So we've seen it ramp up. We've seen with the more things that we've been able to offer as we've reinvested into the agent experience here as a company. We actually created a whole department called Agent Experience simply to serve our agents and make sure that we're listening to them and providing the tools and support that they need. But it's really accelerating. And in fact, we've just seen, like last week was the biggest single week of growth in agents coming to the company that we've ever seen in the history of the company. So we're definitely on that path for continued accelerated growth.
That's, I mean, that alone just is testimony to, how agents are now seeing things here. And, Glenn is super big on reporting and agent satisfaction. There's not a whole lot of companies that publicly post their NPS scores. But for us, that's a big part. Can you speak a little bit as to how NPS is part of what you do and how much it means to you as the president of the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So Net Promoter Score is a great tool. And most people have taken part in it for a company. If you ever purchased something online or after some kind of interaction with your cable company, phone company or something, and they give you that score on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to refer us to a family member or friend? And then what influenced you to give us that score, right? And so people have taken part in that all the time without realizing they were contributing to their Net Promoter Score of that company. And that's basically a customer satisfaction score. What happens though is not only do we look at the score itself and see where we're falling in the score, but those comments about what drove them to give us that score, we have an entire system. There are technologies behind this that take keywords, right? And take all of those responses and funnel them for us. So we know that what they're talking about. Are they talking about the technology? Are they talking about the training? Are they talking about their broker? Are they talking about onboarding? Whatever it is. And it funnels all of those to all of the people in the company who deal with those areas. And whether it's a positive comment or a negative comment, we don't know. We don't know who said it, right? But we know what the concern is or what the praise is. And so we're able to take that and say, hey, team, great job. Look at this. We are getting all of these comments. And our NPS score is very high. So we're getting all of these great comments about how the staff is taking care of them, how they love the company, how they're excited about this. It was a great experience, 10, 10, 10, boom, boom, boom. But you get some where people are not happy. And those are really important because, to me, the reality is reality. you have to look at reality. And if someone's not happy, we want to know that, because we can't do something about it if we don't know. And so that's what's so important about asking the question and quickly getting it to the people who can solve it. And if you get more than one complaint or comment about something that could be better, well, we know that's something we need to address. And some of our best ideas come out of these comments. People come and say, you know what, if you just did this, that would be so much better for us. And we're like, that's the facepalm moment where you go, oh, you're exactly right. That's an easy fix. And we go in and we do it.
Wow. That's I can tell you, when I was in grad school, we studied a little bit about the culture of companies and how important it was to go from within. I think, wasn't it Richard Branson who said, if you take care of your employees will take care of the customers, right? All right, so I want to shift gears here just for a little bit, Dave, and suppose that I'm a small brokerage right now. I'm a little indie brokerage, and it's been a tough go for me for the first part of the year here, because I have an office and I'm a little bit burdened by that. I see things around me. I'm not able to deliver the training and the technology that I need to. Why would partnering with EXP be a good option for me?
Yeah, so over the last 21 years that I've been in the industry in a leadership capacity and working with brokerage owners, I've found that it usually boils down to a couple of things. You either have someone who tackled a challenge because it was their next challenge. They were a high producing salesperson. The next step for them was to go hang their own shingle, open their own brokerage. And they go and they do it and they build a good brokerage. It's successful. It's making money. And now what, right? It's what's the next challenge for them. So you have some that it has nothing to do with whether they're doing well or doing poorly. It was a new challenge. It was the next level for them. They hit the next level. They're ready to go to the next level. What does that mean? And so some are in that situation. Some running a brokerage was not as fun as they thought it was going to be, right? Not as lucrative. They're not making as much money as they wanted to. They've taken their time and focus away from the things that they were really passionate about, and now they're spending a lot of time managing a business, running a business, dealing with the things that maybe aren't as fun to them. And so they're saying, hey, okay, I did this, but it's not really what I want to be doing. I want to get back into my areas that I'm passionate about. Some, especially during COVID, but maybe just the brokerage is not making the money that they need. And during COVID, they found it even harder. They're saddled with expenses, but they can't drive the business with that. And so they're in a very tough financial position. And so those are generally who we run into over time, people that are running brokerages. So it really has nothing to do with whether they're successful or not successful. There are people that are operating brokerages that are looking for a change for one of those reasons. And so for us, the great thing is that we offer something for each one of those, because the ability to take what you've built, it's not about selling it and walking away, right? I'm selling it and retired. I'm going into the sunset and I'm not going to do this anymore. Because a lot of people say, well, I still want to do something. I don't want to, I'm not ready to retire. Those that are ready to retire, they can come in, they can bring their agents in, and through our revenue share program, they continue to receive money from the business that they've built through the people that they have relationships with that they've brought over, right, who are in business with them. And so they have an opportunity to have that go on for the rest of their life, and it's still willable to a generation. So it's still generational wealth for them and their family. For those looking for the next step, the ability to grow now without borders, instead of saying, all right, well, I just have to recruit people right around my area and there's only so big that I can get in this area. Now, all of a sudden, we have agents in our system who have used their influence to connect with agents all over the country and now in different countries. And now they have organizations where within 3 years, they've built organizations that have 3, 6, 8,000 agents in their real estate business, in their virtual market center, their virtual brokerage, if you will, that they don't have the liability, the overhead, and that sort of thing for, and they have no boundaries. So it's a huge opportunity. So independent brokers right now, I know last year we had over 150 independent brokerages that merged in with EXP. This year, we're on pace to exceed that. And I think that trend is going to continue in a positive direction because it is an opportunity. It's a great opportunity for people that own brokerages who are looking for that next step. Where do I go from here? What's my exit strategy? whether they want to exit and get to the point where they just have more time on their hands, but they have the income, the cash flow that's still coming in, or they're looking to take what they've done and build on it and go to the next level.
And there's an end game. It becomes an ongoing concern. And, it brings tears to my eyes of joy as I read, we have an internet workplace, and I see some of the heartfelt gratitude and thanks and lives changed, especially in the last few months here recently. And, we've been very blessed. The investment community has kind of put their arms around us, and there literally have been people who have gotten to places they never dreamed because of EXP. And not only that, it doesn't stop there. It continues with 5 pillars of income that Glenn thoughtfully provided for agents. It is just the whole notion of being agent centric. I mean, I really don't think there's ever been a brokerage that has truly been agent centric like this. And it's so warming, and it's such an incredible feeling to see the changes, the joy, the love, the culture, the real, it's orders of magnitude, Dave. And I know you read the same things that I do, but it is just absolutely mind blowing to see how lives have been impacted by this company. And we're all obviously so thankful and grateful to be here. So let me ask you then, so brokerages, small brokerages, I've helped bring a few over, and they always say, look, it's better for my agents. That's why it's going to be better for me. But really, it's going to be better for my agents, give them a better opportunity, right? Access to more opportunity and so forth. What about individual agents? And again, I just want to know, suppose there's an agent who's never heard of EXP out in the audience right now watching this, and if it's possible, they've never heard of EXP. And you just made a good case for small brokerages. What about just an individual? Why would it make sense for an individual to join, Dave?
Sure. Yeah, it's becoming less frequent that we run into people that haven't heard of us now. But it certainly has been the case in the past. And for an individual agent, the opportunity here is I always refer to EXP as a platform. And what's great is real estate agents are independent contractors. They're business people, and they come into this industry with different sized and different types of goals and dreams, and what they're trying to build. And rather than being a one size fits all, I love the fact that we are much more of a supportive platform that is open source. It allows them to come in, bring their business goals and their dreams of what they want to do for themselves, their families, their future, et cetera, and their community. And they can build that on our platform. They can plug into the tools that we provide, the service that we provide. Because of our structure, using and leveraging technology, we have such a low cost basis, right? So as a business partner, when they plug into what we have to offer, they get it at a low cost. We've got you got to have a high split to the agents, a low cap, and then they have the opportunity as they build their business to earn the stock back. So they get all their cap that they've paid in back in the form of stock. They can buy stock at a discount to be building wealth. They get stock as they hit certain milestones in production. And as they use their influence that they have out there, right? NAR tells us 92% of agents are at the company they're at because they knew somebody there. And so that happens in our industry. That's who we are as social people in the real estate business. And we are a company that partners, that puts out 50% of the company dollar that we bring in every month out to the agents that help us grow. And so as others get more interested in EXP and ask them about it and end up joining and name them as their sponsor, then they have a chance to earn a portion of the company's company dollar every month. And that goes on, it's willable to a generation. So all of those different components allow them to come here and really build a business and build their structure. The training that we are able to provide, where we can have top talent from all over the world be teaching, because we have EXP World where they can come in and hear live training and get all of the information from top sources. So all of those components allow agents to come in and bring any size dream that they have, and they can build it here at EXP, and we can serve them. They can find what they need.
Well, I mean, that's music to my ears. I could not have said that better. This is a place where you can own a business instead of rent a career, and working for the man and paying the man for the name. I mean, this is about agents first, whether all the way from branding, from the top of the company down to the bottom, and that's what is just so exciting about being here. Dave, I have to tell you, yes.
I shared a quote this morning, and I love this. It was in a slightly different context, but all respect to the Navy. I come from a big Navy family, and I appreciate the service of all of our servicemen and women. But there's a quote that Steve Jobs said that said it was more fun to be a pirate than to be in the Navy. All right. Right. And I look at that and say, the people that choose the life of a realtor, the life of a real estate agent, have kind of chosen the life of a pirate, right? You're going to go out and build your business and go after it, and it's an unlimited opportunity, and you can go have a job and a paycheck, and that's a very respectable way to live, and it's awesome for some people. But when we're attracted to this industry, we're kind of like pirates, and we're going to go out there and build our business and have some fun doing it, and it's a cool community. And so this is a community with EXP where we support people to go achieve those big goals and those big dreams and have some fun doing it.
I totally agree with you. This is a community of entrepreneurs. That's exactly what EXP reminds me of. It is not a bunch of hourly people going around showing houses. This is a community of kindred spirits, like-minded people who are high D entrepreneurial and just love the thrill of being here for the ride. And, the money is great, but it's just a measure of how many other lives we're changing and how well we're doing what we're doing. So, Dave, I got to tell you, I think the clock is set to go twice as fast whenever you're on the show. It just, this time has flown by with you. And in fact, the few months since you've been on the show, that flew by. Fortunately, we were able to stay in touch and see you a couple times since then. But it is such a pleasure. We're so excited for the future. If you would have asked me in March if this is what August would look like, I would have said, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way that we can be at all-time highs across the board with this company, across the board. So thank you for your steadfast, loyal leadership and all the things that you do, because listen, I can tell you from the trenches, if it wasn't for you and your team, we wouldn't be as effective and be able to do what we do. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It's always great to see you. And is there anything that I did not get a chance to ask you before we let you get back to work there in Philly, Dave?
Well, I think that what's really exciting right now is the fact that, there's been stuff said about like, oh, they're just a recruiting company or whatever. There's been all these different things said about EXP as people try to make sense of who we were, because we're something different. We're a different business model that's out there. And I think that we have demonstrated that we are a strong real estate company, that we have incredible agents who are producing at a super high level, and that we are starting to dominate the markets from a sales perspective where we're in business. And so I'd like to state that we are also not embarrassed about being pro-growth as a company, right? That we are looking to build our company and have it be larger. And it's not about body count. It's about having more great agents. Like you said, changing more lives, impacting the lives of more agents as they impact lives in their community. And, we're going for it as a company. We believe that we have a platform that can serve a ton of people. There's lots of room. As was said, there's a lot of room for companies like EXP. We've got a lot of room for growth, and we've got some big goals. So we're excited about that.
Thank you, Dave. C3, you got anything to close us out with?
Dave, today's actually our 50th episode, if you can believe that.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, Travis just reminded us. Yeah, big 5-0.
Congratulations.
Right? So, yeah. And what a great guest to celebrate that with, huh?
I mean, come on, where's the gaffle? Like,
yeah, exactly. For sure.
But no, hey, Dave, great to see you again. Great show today. Thank you for pouring into our audience. And I'm just going to leave it with that. It was just great to sit back and kind of be a fly on the wall here today. But it's always great to hear from you. So.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can we have you back on in a few months for another update?
Love to. And I hope I get to see you guys in person between now and then too.
Absolutely. Likewise. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for today. Thank you again so much. President Dave Conord, much love from Prosper, Texas. We're actually, and this is not New York, it's LBJ Freeway and Lincoln Center, Jeff Crilley Studios here. Great place, by the way, we have here, PR News. Jeff is a wonderful guy, and of course Travis at the controls today. So we really appreciate y'all being here. We got something we're going to play for you real quick. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next Thursday, huh?
Sounds great.
Got it. All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.